happening. But let's talk to Liberal Democrat Treasury spokeswoman Christine Jardine, who was at PMQs yesterday. Christine, thank you very much. Great to have you on the show. What do you make of Braverman's return? Braverman's back.
Well, I think we need an independent cabinet inquiry, because you cannot have the situation where a minister has to resign because of breaches of the ministerial code, and in this case also a national security breach, and then is back in office 6 days later without any questions asked. That has to be investigated, and there are serious questions to be answered, and it shouldn't just be swept under the floor.
Yeah, okay.
It needs to be looked at carefully.
Some people might wonder why there is such a focus on national security when it comes to Suella Braverman, who allegedly, anyway, accidentally CC'd a couple of people in on an email, whereas the Lib Dems might not care that much about national security when it comes to who's coming over the channel.
Well, that's offensive. I care very much about national security. The fact that I think it's important that we have a Home Secretary who is seen to be above reproach has got nothing to do with the plight of those poor people in the Channel. That's a completely different issue, and that needs dealt with. That needs a Home Secretary who's willing to expand and establish and expand safe legal routes into this country. But that doesn't detract from the fact that we have a Home Secretary who had to resign 6 days ago because of a breach of the ministerial code and, you know, a national security breach. Now, Rishi Sunak has told us that this is going to be an ethical government. Well, he needs to be as good as his word, and we need an independent inquiry to establish what happened.
OK, I mean, that inquiry could take a period of time. Her response and Rishi Sunak's response, in fact, her response at the time was that it was an honest mistake. Have you never made an honest mistake?
Yeah, but I've never breached national security or the ministerial code, and that is the issue here. She's the Home Secretary. The Home Secretary is responsible for national security. We cannot simply brush this under the carpet. The public needs to be reassured, if nothing else, that the person in that job, she may have made an honest mistake, but we need to have an inquiry to establish that.
I want the clarity on it, and I can understand that, Christine. I can. I do think, though, that the public are also desperate to get what's going on in the Channel sorted, illegal immigration in general sorted, and potentially, dare I say it, maybe even the numbers when it comes to legal immigration. Do you not think the vast majority of the British public care more about that than they do about whether or not she accidentally CC'd someone into an email?
I think the problem of illegal immigration is one that this government has failed to address, and that is the problem. Now, if we're going to address it properly, we need a Home Secretary in which people have faith, someone who they have confidence in. And that is the problem here. We have someone who's been appointed 6 days after having to resign. We need to look at the situation seriously. We need to accept that the problem will not be solved simply by turning back boats. We need safe, legal routes to protect these people, apart from anything else, from people smugglers.
OK, all right. What do the Lib Dems do right now, though, about the problem involving violence at the camps that we're hearing there at RAF Moreton? What do you do about that right now?
What do the Liberal Democrats? What the Liberal Democrats do is say that what we need is decent facilities for people who have arrived in this country. We need to treat them.
But apparently they are having violent episodes because we're putting people together from countries that don't get on. There's an Albanian element, as our Home and Security editor said. They want to get out of there and start operating in the underground economy. That isn't sorted by whether or not they're at the Hilton.
It's sorted by having an efficient Home Office, an efficient system, and we don't have that. I have constituents who've been waiting for months, legal immigrants who've been waiting for months, asylum seekers who've been waiting for months, in some cases more than a year, for their paperwork to go through. We need a Home Office that is fit for purpose and operating properly and addressing these systems. We don't have that at the moment, and that is what we need a Home Secretary to address.